find as many Greninjas who are trying to appeal in that international sense. However, we're going to see how he does against SuperStriker, the come-up kid, basically the one with something to prove here at this tournament. Whereas Tarik basically defending his title as one of Europe's best.
Yeah, interesting moment, just throwing out some buttons at the start just to feel each other out once again. But here we go, getting into the real meat of it.
Yep, and this matchup...
I always enjoy the beginning of sets like these, just because I just like that kind of moment when you're just trying to see what your opponents are trying to pull out at the first one. A player's opening gambit and seeing those first few adaptations is always a nice thing.
Yeah, for sure. And from the get-go, we kind of see SuperStriker's game plan, which is play it slow and wait for the right opportunity, right? We see the spin dash mix ups of it, always taking the opportunity to just retreat to the corner and threaten that side B. And here we see it again, using that invincibility to anti-approach Tarik time and time again. And that's such a big deal. The thing about this matchup is that the lead, and I mean, this is such a thing for Sonic matchups, right? But especially against Greninja, the lead is such a huge part of the matchup because Greninja's Shuriken is amazingly strong against Sonic's spin dashes, right? It really occupies that horizontal space. So far, we can see SuperStriker with a good lead, fell behind a little bit, and then found a dash attack, which is amazing. I really like the way he's mixing up his burst range, not just relying on his specials, making sure the normals get plenty of love as well. And now SuperStriker, rolling from the ledge, is going to get intercepted, but the air dodge 50-50, he's back on the ledge. Look at the percents. They're so back and forth so far. Both nearing those KO percentages. Look at that, the forward slash on the spin dash. Tarik calling those out. I really like the way he's approaching his positioning in this match. You know, using those double jumps, using that vertical game to kind of bait out a spin dash and going from there.
Forward air is going to be an option you'll see a lot from a lot of Greninjas. It's a usual KO confirm, using, as you can see, those dash attacks, sometimes even those up tilts, just to pop opponents up into the air and get those KOs where possible. Yeah, just chasing down, you can't get away from Sonic. The spring's still there, even after the initial kind of scare, but going back and forth across this screen, looking like, the controls seem to be somewhat in Tarik's favor here. But yeah, very, very nice. Waited for some kind of option, and SuperStriker choosing to go for a dash in, and then wonderful decision from Tarik just to do that turnaround grab, just open up that space just to see the option, and then make the decision. Up throw will take it.
Exactly. Very, very nice. Small little pivot grab right there. Again, Tarik highlighting what we talked about before, right? You don't need to dash back an entire stage length. You can do just a tiny bit of dash back and it will be enough to make the opponent whiff, and Tarik making great use of that. And now, SuperStriker needs to find the KO, and that is not always the easiest thing to do with Sonic. Sonic has a lot of kill setups, but if you know what they are, you can generally play around them. If you're ahead. If you're behind, you're going to have to deal with the spin dash, and the spin dash can lead into KOs or KO setups, and that's very scary. But when you're ahead like this, there's so much room to grow your lead. Tarik pushing a little bit too far, but look at the percentage differential, 80% on SuperStriker. And what we saw at the beginning of the game was, basically neck and neck. We saw like 130 on both players, and if you look at the percentages now, entirely different story. And now you can see Tarik just throwing out the Shuriken, SuperStriker. Every second he wastes is a second in Tarik's advantage. Nice punish, a shield drop forward tilt on the Sonic forward tilt. Good presence of mind to punish that. That's not easy. The down throw, back air should connect, but a little bit off on the confirm. And, we see a lot of scrambles, but SuperStriker's not getting the hits, right? So,
yeah, I think at this point it's just really, really well done from Tarik here, controlling the pace completely. He's forcing SuperStriker to be the one to have to do all the work. And Tarik just is, just slowly racking up percent, crappy little Shuriken doing his job, tiny bits of percent here and there, sees the opportunity and immediately just executes right there and then.
That's a full stock lead.
SuperStriker kind of lost control in terms of having some semblance of impact on the pace of the game. I think after that first stop, Tarik just knew what was necessary.
Yeah, and I think, I think it just goes to show how big a lead can be. I promise you, Bowie, if we get into the next game and SuperStriker gets the first KO, we can see a totally different story. But so far, that early lead, we saw it. It was so hard to KO Tarik after that, and ooh, this could be big, but no finish. He is gonna get more advantage state, but Tarik being very smart, recovering to the stage, knowing he would probably get punished, but at least not risk dying. Right, again, going to the stage, just going for all of these safe double jumps back to the stage, knowing, hey, I could get punished, but it's better than risking death. A very good way to play the risk reward as well. It's just saying, hey, you know, I might be more likely to get hit, but the hit is less punishing. Very, very good presence of mind by Tarik now, going back to that neutral, and we see a little bit more aggression coming out from Tarik, and I think that could definitely be a point for where SuperStriker can make his comeback happen. So far, though, definitely not looking like a full comeback yet. Tarik finding his hits, 84 on Sonic, not at quite in KO percentage yet, but he is nearing those percentages. Looking at a timer as well, it's going to be hard for SuperStriker to play much more patient than this, because if he does, then the timer starts becoming a real factor.
Even thinking about it, one of those things that when you're in the middle of a game you sometimes don't realize. But yeah, only just over a minute on the clock already. But there is an F smash coming out. Not going to be enough to take it from middle of the stage. So looking to be closing out soon. But there's a landing back air there. Will take that stock. So a one stock situation, but a big lead in the favor of Tarik. And if we see him going to play the end of this stock the way he played the ending of that second stock, it's going to look pretty good for Tarik, but, you know, is that how it goes? What will specifically SuperStriker do? Kind of like not let that happen again.
And if we look at the timer, it's looking like SuperStriker has to make a play, and that's what we're seeing right here. SuperStriker playing a lot more aggressive than he did the rest of the game, and now that patience that helped him avoid hits earlier is a deficit, right? It's 23 seconds on the clock. He has to make the play, so now Tarik, he basically gets to call the shot. He says, hey, I'm going to play defensively in this way, and SuperStriker has to play around it. It's all up to SuperStriker to make the right reads, and there's the forward air. Like I said, has to make the right plays. 8 seconds on the clock. It's looking pretty rough here for SuperStriker, and I think that is the end.
That is going to be the timer. Game 1 going over to Tarik then, from timeout. So,
yep.
One way to do it. It works.
That's what happens if you play Sonic and you're behind and you're still playing slow. Well, like I said, every second that you waste when you're behind is a second in your opponent's favor. So in that sense, Tarik playing it very well, saying, hey, I got the lead, you got to come to me. I'm not going to approach you on your terms when you're a Sonic player, right? And I think that gave SuperStriker the momentum that he needed to close out the second stock. Like you said, he played that extremely well. Because, you know, out of nowhere, we saw SuperStriker getting aggressive, coming alive in a way that he hasn't before. But at the same time, once Tarik realized, hey, he has to play aggressive here, I can just kind of like play to anti-approach Sonic. At that point, it looked like it was kind of over for SuperStriker, minus, you know, a few hard reads here or there. But it's hard to pull those out on game 1, right? On game 1, you're not going to find like that hard read as easily as you would in like game 3, 4, 5 of a set.
I think it's very, interesting as well. You were mentioning it a little bit earlier in that breakdown about, you know, when you're behind and how you have to play. You can't keep playing it slow. And playing this defensive style with Sonic, because I mean, your opponent's not going to come towards you as you say. And I think this is where kind of like a lot of I think success comes from like playing Sonic, you know, at those higher levels, as being able to have a very aggressive play style within him as well. I mean, we're often seeing and often talking about, on a more, I wouldn't say universal, but more kind of general scale, that Sonic is more of a defensive character, but, you know, his offense done well can be very, very strong. So we're hoping to see a little bit more of that from SuperStriker if, you know, he does go behind, or if he is trying to, you know, get that advantage and push it further.
And so far, we see that lead by SuperStriker coming out, that dash attack again, big mix-up in his favor. Ken, also a big fan of like the run-up mix-ups, not too much dash attack specifically, but like run-up jab, run-up rising aerials, and I really think that is a cornerstone of the Sonic game plan, right? You can stick to your spin dashes, you can stick to your specials, they're extremely powerful, extremely potent, but they will never be enough to carry a game plan. You always need to mix in those dash up normals just to keep your opponent on your toes, just to like kind of complete the range of mix-ups that you need to stay unpredictable and to create a core mix-up game that you can rely on. So far, very back and forth, very tit for tat. Look at that. The side B by Tarik, one of his classic recovery tools. He often likes to go for the side B more than other Greninjas, and then we often even see like a double jump, extra side B on top, a little bit of a cheeky mix-up there. In this case, just kind of getting the hit and returning to the neutral here. Still very back and forth. And again, Bowie, I want to highlight that first KO is going to mean everything in these games.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially when you're playing momentum-based characters. So, oh, what a parry! That's very. That is a.
That's brave.
That's one of those things. You're just like, yeah, I can parry that. Nice and easy. Yeah, you were talking about that Shadow Snake. You can see sometimes when SuperStriker's like, just coming towards the edge, not doing anything majorly aggressive, but just standing, looming as a presence. He's gonna just bat that away. So that's usually when you see those Shadow Sneaks come out, just to cover the ledge with some kind of hitbox. But SuperStriker just throws out that. Oh, hello! There's a stage spike. Yeah, went quite low. Goes for the Hydro Pump to recover, and then just gets caught by the spring. Wasn't really aware of it. No tech. And that'll be stock one down, but a trade there, or trade of stock specifically, with the forward air will be enough to take it yet again.
Yeah,
a common KO option, that one.
Yeah, finding that forward air at that moment was absolutely critical for Tarik. If you look at in terms of game pacing, that was big. SuperStriker had an opportunity to kind of get out of that bad situation and then really slow the game down. But Tarik finding the right read at the right moment. That said, talking about right reads at the right moment, SuperStriker with a big side B confirm. Looking at the percentage on Tarik, it's huge, and we actually see like low key a power up by SuperStriker. He took off the glasses, and now it's SuperStriker on chain, man. He's just making a big statement in the second game, in my opinion, saying, hey, that first game, Tarik looked in control the entire time, but that's not how the set is going to go. There's still more to be played, there's still more to be adapted. SuperStriker looking for those adaptations right now, already looking to fish for that final blow, that forward smash, maybe two-framing Greninja's subpar recovery, but not finding it. Still a percentage lead for SuperStriker. Ooh, the run-up down till Tarik did not confirm that. That's a huge drop right there, and the advantage gets dropped as well. That's double, a double bummer for Tarik there. And the up smash just straight up intercepting the jump to center. Striker knowing exactly what Tarik wants to do there.
A variety of options were in his hand as well. I think he kind of like spaced himself towards the edge to try and find, the grab into back throw. Saw the jump and just repositioned really quickly and punished as quickly as he could. Brilliantly done. And that will give SuperStriker the stock lead now, as we're hitting the business end of this second game. SuperStriker just wanting to just rack up as much percentage as he can, whilst just trying to hold on to the stock and give himself a lead should that second stock get taken very high up.
Yes.
That it will be a nice up air to confirm the second stock. And 50%, all things considered, is good, but wanting perhaps just a little bit more, just so he could get into a much stronger position in this final bit and just close the game out before it starts running away. He doesn't really want to give Tarik any opportunity to find what he has been finding, to build pressure, get advantage, and then take those stocks.
For sure. And look at the percentages, already basically back to even. SuperStriker finding some strong hits, though. The offstage scenario, again, SuperStriker finding the right hits. Tarik has been going high with those upbeats a little bit too often. And again, the up smash covering the jump to center, but no, sir. Tarik is still alive, finding a back air. This could be big. I know Tarik's offstage pressure, probably one of the best in Europe. Tries to find the next hit, but SuperStriker again slowing it down. That's what he wants to do. Finding a read on the jump to back air. Again, 2 kill screens, no KO. SuperStriker not quite getting the hits in the right situations, I would say.
It's one of those things where, on the other side of the stage, despite how strong it actually is. Wow, really? Okay. Tarik pumps his fist to that one. Stolen that game off SuperStriker, who, as you said, 2 KO screens. One of them good enough and solid enough DI. The other one too far from one side of the stage to make it happen. And that sweet spot on the up smash, the double water kunai will be enough.
Oh yes.
With that rage as well to take that stock.
That was a devious lick, but Tarik got it nonetheless. I'm impressed, man. And that just goes to show, Sonic kind of relies on his above average damage wrecking. Probably some of the best damage wrecking in the game, honestly. And the downside of that kind of is the lower kill power, right? He can find like spin dash forward air, back air reads, up smash reads. We saw those before, forward smash 2-frame, stuff like that. But they're not as consistent as a Greninja down tilt up smash, as a Greninja dash tag forward air, as you know, a lot of setups that Greninja has, to be honest. So in that sense, Tarik just making great use of his character strengths, saying, hey, I can be down in percents, I'm gonna stay composed, focus on capitalizing on the advantage that I have, which is the better KO power, actively looking for a down tilt like that in the right situation and finding it. Just great awareness, great passive mind by Tarik. Have to commend him for that. SuperStriker, though, off to a flying start so far. Not going to get the confirms he wants to, but, you know, one of the nice things about this matchup, for both sides, honestly, is that both these characters are extremely fast, both horizontally as well as vertically, right? And vertical mobility often very understated. But against Sonic, it's very important to have that vertical mobility because oftentimes he will be going up into the air to kind of compensate for the spin dash lag, right? So Tarik being able to match that is big. But on the other hand, you know, Greninja also likes to go vertically to avoid bad situations. So Sonic being able to match that is also very huge. So in that sense, we kind of get a cat and mouse game of like whoever is in disadvantage is going to have an extra rough time because of the toolkit of the opposing character.
Trying to feel out these options and the responses to these little taps and tricks here and there that Tarik's throwing out. Maybe just looking for the opportunity that when he gets the right hit and the right opportunity, he's going to take that stock. Nice little play on the edge, goes to the ledge trump, nothing comes of that. Back into middle, into center stage. The usual spin dash into back air, follow up, very nice. Okay, rising fair from below the stage, just to push Striker away. Yeah, nice little back and forth there. Again, locked into even percentage.
SuperStriker looking for that kill confirm. Not gonna find it. Tarik, again, using that vertical mobility to kind of like pressure SuperStriker. But SuperStriker not having it is gonna get caught on the roll in. Tarik with some really good pressure, kind of feinting a dash forward, jumping back forward air to cover the roll in, and SuperStriker falling for it just like that. Tarik in a lead once more. Let's see how this one goes.
Ooh, very lovely. Very lovely. It was good because because of the length of time that Tarik was off stage, it allows SuperStriker to find his moment to get that run off forward air. You know, obviously a very, very good KO move when you're that far off the stage. Nice tech. Just a lot of pressure to each other. Once again, you know, locked in. You can see them just always batting back and forth. Just trading at the same amount of percentage, really, just in different, you know, different phases, but similarly kind of ends out the same. So again, this on the edge jab at the combo. We saw that earlier in the previous stock as well. Just finding his opponent, just catching those hits and racking up percent nice and quick. Now goes for another ledge trump. Does land with that fast full back air just to catch that neutral get up. What Striker's option rolls on, but nothing from Tarik that really connected.
I think Tarik was waiting for the roll, and then when the roll came out, he was like, that was the exact moment he kind of stopped anticipating it. Very unfortunate timing, on the other hand, SuperStriking having a good handle on the timing that Tarik was looking for. And look at that, the run-up grab, just kind of mixing in that rude grab, finding the double jump back to the stage and just calling it out with the back air. One of Sonic's key kill options right there, and SuperStriker using it at the right moment. And now, looking at 100% on Sonic, it's pretty hard to find a KO there, but Tarik has definitely done it before. Let's see how this stock pans out. And down tilt almost connecting, chases the air dodge with the dash tag, but SuperStriker staying composed, knows the air dodge at the right moment, just goes wide, and the lead is currently mounting in SuperStriker's favor.
Okay, he's just got to hold on a little bit. There again, there's the down tilt into the forward air. It does connect. As I was saying, he's been doing it a lot without actually following up, just to tease out the options from his opponent, see what those tendencies are, and so that when he does get the actual one he wants, he makes the right choice. That was a good decision. Landing there, trying to follow up there with a back air, I believe, but the platform was there to save Striker once again. Being able to get those techs in place does help, you know, when your opponent's trying to, like, you know, barrel down on you. But
yeah, for sure. I mean, mixing up your techs is such an underrated part of your presence of mind, right? Knowing, you know, My opponent's expecting a tech in place. What is the most optimal result for him? How do I mix it up? Am I, is the risk worth taking? Talking about risks worth taking, Tarik going for the down air, just kind of, I almost want to say panicking or maybe a little bit overzealous, and going for a risk that landed SuperStriker in that finishing blow with the up smash. You don't often see Greninja's down air, and that's, oftentimes for good reason. This time, Tarik just on point with it.
Yeah. I want to kind of go back to SuperStriker's second stock take on Tarik there, because it was a wonderful moment and a wonderful bit of positioning where kind of like jumped forward and faded back and then used the second jump attack to then reclose the space. But the jump back, because there was the moment when they were like looking to move into each other, but then that like retreat, if you will, that momentary retreat gave Tarik the confidence to keep moving forward, and then that immediate change and sudden decision is kind of maybe what caught Tarik off guard and allowed that second stock to be taken.
Yeah, totally see where you're coming from, and I think again, super underrated how much those little bits of movements can influence what your opponent wants to do. And Tarik, I mean, we highlighted before, right? He kind of dashes at the opponent, jumps back, forward airs, catches a roll in, took the first stock in this game that way, and those feints. And like how you use your movement to kind of like bait out options, that is what enables the big hits. It's not the reads, it's not, it's not understanding your opponent. Of course, part of it is understanding your opponent, but what enables it is feinting your opponent and making them unsure of what is coming, which oftentimes forces a little bit of a commitment, and then those commitments can be punished in a big way. So far, we see Striker returning to center with those specials. Tarik ready though to punish. Finds the air dodge punish with that dash tag, reads it, waits patiently. SuperStriker though, always using those specials to kind of like mix up out of disadvantage, making sure he stays ambiguous, using the invincibility on the spin dash to anti-approach, and now SuperStriker finally kind of evening it back up. Not for long though. Tarik somehow always has an answer ready. It's surprising how good Tarik is at retaliating in these situations. Ooh.
Very nice. Very nice. Confirm.
We just talked about like the presence of mind to kind of like mix up your attack options, right? And in that situation, SuperStriker just wasn't ready to mix up this attack option in the right way, and Tarik was there, ready with the double kunai as you highlighted before. Amazing. That early lead is going to be big, as we saw in the previous games, unless SuperStriker has something to say about it. Of course, that high recovery again by Tarik. Such a classic so far for him in his matchup, is doing a lot of work.
Yeah, landing there into that, I think it was a forward smash there just to get that percentage rolling. Look for a grab. I think it was maybe looking for a turnaround, or maybe just anticipating the movement to the left a little bit sooner. So a bit off on that grab, but gets the jab combo. Some percentage on the board. Again, stock lead and slowly building it up. How much further can Tarik take this is the question. Yeah, nice little hop over the water shuriken, semi-charged. Okay, again, landing there into forward air once more. Yeah. Look to get that at like as much range as possible.
And so far, we really see SuperStriker throwing out KO move after KO move. We've seen like 4 forward smashes, 3 back airs already, and they're not working, and Tarik just retaliates with these big hits. And that's what we talked about before, right? There's such a difference in KO power, where Sonic has to rely on these big hits, like the forward smash does get it there, but then Tarik just kind of answering with a small little down tilt leads into just as potent of a KO move. And the answer for SuperStriker is to just play it more consistently. Don't fiend for those KO options. You just gotta accept that weakness and play around it in a solid way. But SuperStriker a little bit too overzealous trying to find those KOs, and I really think that is what lost him the lead so far.
Yeah, I think your opponent is able to see your desperation when you're trying to look for certain things and you're fishing really hard for options. Your opponents are aware of that, and it allows them to kind of like be very to anticipate those options in a longer state of the game than normal, pretty much.
Sure, for sure.
And I'm wondering how SuperStriker can really start to bring this back. It's stuff like that, just trying to mix it up a little bit and just keep it slightly different. Oh, wow, that was a nice choice to see the down air coming in. No punish from that. Interesting. I kind of feel that maybe there was a bit of hesitation. And a big thing about fighting games in general is that, you're playing around these windows of opportunity. They're tiny, tiny windows. and it's about recognizing those and executing them in the moment.
Yeah, and it's about managing your mental stack, right? If you're expecting that air dodge, you gotta commit to expecting the air dodge. You cannot just position yourself for it and then don't commit to that option. In that sense, Tarik, you know, had the right idea, wasn't quite sure about it, but he has the room to kind of second guess those situations. He doesn't need to get the KO. Look at the lead he's building. Look at the deficit, again, in KO power that we've seen come into play time and time again. Tarik, he's not close to dying quite.
Okay, it looked like he did. You were still talking about this. Shadow Sneak, double jump, Shadow Sneak. Did that into the spring and got himself punished for it. Again, no stage tag. That's the second time we've seen that, and I think it's something that maybe just needs to be worked out there by Tarik. You know, just couple of stocks happening, just get to the edge.
And I mean, the tech is just a reaction check, and in that sense, a little bit of a shame for Tarik to go down like that, but SuperStriker finding a right opportunity, not gonna last for long though. Tarik finishing off the game in style, 3-1, finding a forward air on the jump read. Very, very solid performance. Exactly what we expect out of a player of Tarik's caliber.
Indeed, yeah. Interesting to see over the course of it as well. I mean, we've only really kind of seen SuperStriker doing a lot more online stuff, so I haven't really kind of seen them as a player, but body language seemed to be, I wouldn't say complacent, but just kind of like a little bit distant. So